and welcome to episode 31 of That Time I Got Arrested. You guys, we're in our 30s, we're 30 and flirty and thriving. And let me just tell you about how much we're thriving. So we are thriving so much that we are literally changing people's minds about this show. So there was this lady, oh my God, honey, who left a review like 3 months ago saying that like it sounded like I was this overprivileged, self-indulgent, self-sabotaging like white girl who just like was fucking shit up. And she came back and she wrote another review about the show after she like caught up on all the episodes and was like, yo, this is heartbreaking and this is fascinating and to stick with it. So that's just like anyone who's new here, yo, go back. Like there's only 31 episodes. Like what are you even doing all day? Like listen to me in the bathtub. Like listen to me while you drive. Listen to me while you work or go on a run or like have sex. Like fucking, I've heard I have a very soothing voice. So please subscribe, leave us a 5-star review, write a review, reach out to us on social media, Casper on Instagram, That Time I Got Arrested on Instagram, and please submit your stories. I want to hear what's going on in that twisted little head of yours. That Time I Got Arrested at gmail.com. You could honestly just tell me what you had for lunch. I really don't give a fuck. I am interested in getting some merchandise to sell so that we can like keep this show going. If you want to keep it going, tell me what you would like more. Would you be interested in like lighters or rolling papers or like a t-shirt? I really need to hear from you guys if that's something you'd be interested in at all, or if you're like, don't buy crap from China and sell it to us, but like rolling papers, we could get organic ones, right? Yeah, totally. Okay, I love you. My name is Casper, and my entire life has been a lie. That's not even my real name. But don't worry, I'm going to tell you all of my secrets. This isn't the story of how I became an orphan. This isn't the story about how I jumped off a 5-story building and survived. This isn't about how I died and came back funny. This is That Time I Got Arrested. I am trying to explain to you what it was like in prison, but it's hard, it's hard to like tell you about a different world that most people don't get to see. And like most people aren't lucky enough to have a platform or the ability to articulate it. So like most of the women that are going to prison are severely uneducated. They have lived in poverty their whole life. They've lived through generations of poverty. They're minorities and they have lived an oppressed existence. Like no one is more oppressed than a Black woman. And like that's the majority of the people in prison is like in women's prison. It's like Black women and minorities. So like the most oppressed people who have no education and no resources. All oppression is not equal, but like all oppression oppresses everyone. So like white men get oppressed by the oppression of Black women, and like Black women get oppressed by the oppression that white men like put on themselves psychologically because they feel this like sense of like superiority or separateness or a feeling of like the other when like that's not real. That's not real. We're not different. We're all the same. And like your pain is my pain and my pain is your pain. And I have so much pain that I've got enough to spare. And I'm like putting it into this like little bubble, this little like corner of the internet, so that I can like connect to other people's pain. And so that this is like something that we're gonna do together because like it's cool now or whatever. Now I'm like, fuck everything. I really feel like I'm hitting my nihilist phase of life, like right in this moment, because I made a decision. And you've heard about all of the terrible things that I've done in my life, like every awful, disgusting, despicable evil thing I've ever done. I mean, not ever. I'm sure there's more that I like haven't told you about because it's not relevant. But like every evil, really, truly evil thing that I've ever done is here for you now. You've heard it. It's all, like, if you haven't, go back and check it out. And so I don't even know what I would call this because, like, is this evil? I don't even know what evil is anymore. Do you? Like, have you got it figured out? You guys just told me, like, the worst thing that ever happened to you. But, like, do you even know what evil is anymore? Because I feel like it's hard to tell. Because I feel like everyone's evil. And then I feel like everyone's good, too, you know? And it's, like, a battle every day of, like, who are you going to choose to be in different moments and situations. So I've got this deal worked out with my grandparents. I'm out of solitary confinement. My business is handled and I have an out date. And that's like such a powerful thing when you're in prison is like your out date because you really have like an idea of when you're going to get out. But the actual day, your out date is like a little piece of heaven. It's gold. I mean, it's hope. You know, it's like, it's everything. It is everything to you in that moment. So I've got my out date and I've got like less than 90 days left to go before I'm going to fucking leave. Like, can you believe that's going to happen? I'm like in this moment, as I'm telling you this, I don't believe that I get to leave, but I have my out date and I get to leave and it's coming. So in between that time, I totes hired some Nazis to protect me from all of the women that were beating me up while I was in jail. And I took it for so long, you know, and I had this offer presented to me from that teacher that I told you about a long time ago. Like she, you know, had made the same deal with them and had told me like right away that I should do that so that I like didn't get beat up. And I was just kind of like, no. Fuck you, fuck that. Like, I would never do business with Nazis. Like, you think you have morals. You know what I mean? Like, I had already been, like, brutally raped and beaten at this point. Like, I didn't think that it could get worse. And I didn't think that I couldn't handle it. And I, like, didn't like it. I mean, you remember that story about the shampoo bottle? Like, if you don't, go back. And I just got to this point after solitaire, especially, where I was just like, it doesn't fucking matter what I do. This is the world and nothing's going to change. And I am just going to get out of this alive. And then I'm going to forget about this. That's what I thought I was going to do. Genuinely. It's so stupid. I'm like mad at myself for like being such a fucking moron. But I was like, yeah, I'm just going to forget everything. I'm just going to forget it happened and I'm going to move on with my life. So I paid these Nazis $75 a week to protect me and keep me from getting beat up. And it was fucking dope, dude. Like, it's fucked up. Oh, man. It's like people think I'm a racist, which is so crazy because, like, I know what racism is. Like, I grew up with racists. Like, my grandparents are racist. Like, my dad's side of the family are racist. Like, I've seen it. And I, like, am disgusted by it. But, like, it's fucked up because, like, I'm telling you this thing and you could easily interpret that as some kind of, like, racist act. Now that I'm in this financial arrangement with this group of people, my last couple of months there were chill as fuck. I mean, it was night and day and it was weird. It was weird, you know, not getting fucked with. It was weird, like just letting the time pass normally. I mean, I did fucking crazy normal shit. I like painted, I read books, I played Jeopardy, I like made food. I fucking just lived my life. And it was kind of like at that point, it was weird because it had been so hard. Everything had been so hard up until that point. And then now that was like the best time I had. Oh, it's so sad. That was the best time that I had in prison was like just that last little bit. And the time went by agonizingly slow. And my bunkmate, who was also in this like white nationalist group and like couldn't have been a nicer girl, but like just like hated people all the time, was this like meth head named Roxanne, and she was getting out the same day as me. And so that was why they had like put our bunks together, is because we were getting out the same day. And like a lot of times like that time is like really tense for the people around you, because like you're watching someone, you know, get prepared to get released, and like it's not your time yet, so like you're jealous, but you're happy for them, but you're also like mad, but you want to get their stuff. That's the other thing. Now I have to like give away all of my shit, all of my books, all of my devices, all of my fucking like food, my clothes, like literally like my razor and my bar of soap. All of that stuff was like being recycled to people who, you know, I either like owed favors to or owed money to, or just like wanted to help because I like them. I gave this one girl who had like 4 years to do. She was like this nice blonde, meth white nationalist that I met. She had like 4 years to do, and she was just so fucking like cool, like Southern, like simple, but like very like down to earth, like easygoing chick. And I gave her all of my books, and we just like talked about jail for a long time. And I made all these promises to all these girls that I was going to write them, that I was going to help them, that I was going to do all this shit. I never spoke to a single person ever again after I left. I never wrote anyone. I never fucking kept in touch with a goddamn soul. But like I said, in this time, in this now where it's like 2 weeks, I'm like, God, you know, 10 days, fucking 8 days, 7 days. Now it's like I'm making all these plans with all these people, and I've got fucking 30 girls that I'm best friends with now. You know, some of them are asking me to make phone calls for them, send letters, you know, get money, do this, do that. And it's like, I've got this laundry list of chores for all these inmates that I'm, you know, supposed to do once I like taste freedom and like have access to like the world again. You know, I'm thinking about my cell phone. I'm thinking about Facebook. You know, I'm thinking about like fucking, like I'm thinking about my ex-boyfriend. Honestly, I'm just like, oh, I'm going to like call him and have sex with him. Like that's like all the things that I was like really like going through my mind. And, you know, none of that happened. I didn't help those girls. I did not like meet up with him and have sex. I was just daydreaming, you know, all day. I was daydreaming, and now I wasn't getting the shit kicked out of me every day. So it was like I had a lot more time to just, you know, think about what it was going to be like to be a person again. Now I was going to be a person again. That's so scary. It's so weird. It's so different. I don't even know what I am anymore. I'm not myself. That's for damn sure. I am not even sure who this new person I am is going to be, because I don't really know her yet. You know, I know who I am in jail, right? And that's not who I was before, but that's also not who I'm going to be when I'm free, because I don't know what that is like anymore. It's only been 11 months, you know, total, but like, whoa, like that fucking might as well have been 11 years, you know? That's what it felt like. Obviously, that's like fucking, I'm embarrassed to say that. I guess that's fucking stupid, because it's way worse if it's 11 years, right? But like, I didn't know the difference. Time is not real anymore. And now I'm going to go to house arrest, and I am going to get out. And it's like the day of, and the night before, I swear I didn't like sleep at all. And I was so nervous. And like Roxanne and I just like paced back and forth to the bathroom, and we would go between giggling and crying and just like holding each other and just freaking out. Like this is the biggest day of my life. Like my fucking wedding, my child being born, any monumental moment that I ever have from this point forward will not compare to the day that I got released from prison. And I remember it so vividly. I like wish I didn't remember it so vividly, because it was weird, and it was kind of anticlimactic in a way. So the way that you get released from prison is they first like take you into this like office and then make you sign a million pieces of paper and then like explain everything that's going to happen. And you have to have someone arranged to come at a, predetermined time and check in like 3 hours before they even let you out. It's this whole big thing. And then they have to do this like search where they like put your name into like an FBI list to see if like something crazy happened while you were in jail and they were like looking for you somewhere else. So it was like, fuck, I was even sitting there thinking like, oh shit, what about Florida? What about Ohio? But like, thank God they did not have like my right birthday and like my right information in the computer. So they like didn't find any of that stuff and they just fucking let me go. So they let me go. But so like, as I'm like leaving this office, I have like this box of stuff and I see my grandfather and he's like across the parking lot and I was so excited and I was just like, oh my God, I'm leaving. Oh my God, I'm leaving. And I yelled across the parking lot and I waved and I was like, Grandpa! And a guard that was like holding the door open for us put his hand on my shoulder and yanked me back inside and threw me up against a wall and said, you shut the fuck up while you're walking out or I'm going to make sure you stay here for another 2 weeks. And I'm not even kidding you. I like swear to God, I like peed on myself a little bit. I was like, nothing anyone ever will say to me for the rest of my life will be more terrifying than that moment. And I just couldn't even say anything. I started crying. I pissed myself and I just nodded. And then he let me go. And then I walked and I just had my head down. And that was like, that was like the last got that they had on me. Like he got me. Like he fucking got me. Like right as I was walking out the door, I was like, that was like my fucking nightmare. And it happened in real life, which is like, don't be afraid of shit too much because it'll all come true. Shout out to all my ex-boyfriends. And I walked with my head down and my grandfather was just shaking his head at me because obviously he already knew that I had fucked up and I hadn't even been free for 10 seconds and I was already this fucking asshole who like couldn't keep their shit together. Oh my God. Oh fuck. I'm embarrassed. That's what happened though. And I walked across the parking lot and I had this big box in my hands and it was heavy and it was hot out and I was like in that ugly brown sweater and like sweats and it like didn't match and I looked so crazy and weird. My hair was crazy and like my eyebrows were crazy. And I had gained 80 pounds. So I looked fucking cute. I looked so cute. And then my grandfather sat me in the car and he did the most amazing thing that anyone has ever done. Oh, you're not going to be impressed by this. He handed me my cell phone. He handed me my cell phone. And I was just like, okay, game on. And I turned it on and I logged into my like Google Drive, my Gmail. It was an Android. And I got all my contacts and I got all my apps. I got my email. And the first person I texted was Hannah. And I just said, hey, bitch, I'm out. Oh God, I'll never forget that. So we were like driving from the middle of Bumblefuck, Illinois. My grandfather's handing me, we were driving from the middle of Bumblefuck, Illinois. My grandfather just handed me my cell phone. I texted Hannah. Hannah was driving from the town she went to in college back to Chicago, and she said that she had to pull over because she almost got into a car accident. And then she called me and we like chatted for like 10 minutes and like made plans to meet up. My grandfather drove us to a Cracker Barrel and I love Cracker Barrels. And that used to be like the restaurant that my like hippie tour kid, like festival going friends would all meet at. Is like, we would like leave whatever show, town, fest, whatever we were at, and we'd all fucking gather at a Cracker Barrel and we'd sit outside and we'd smoke J's in those rocking chairs, and we would go and we would order like $1,000 worth of food. We would put it on Mr. Free's fucking black card and we would just epically pig out, and it was like so much fun. We would like tell each other jokes and like tell stories about what happened and make fun of each other, and we'd feed each other and we'd throw food at each other and we'd have so much fun. And so now I just got out of prison and I'm sitting at this Cracker Barrel with my grandfather, and he's like, get whatever you want, sweetie. I was like, I'm not even hungry. I like ordered a bunch of food and I really just picked at it. I like couldn't even really eat. I had so much adrenaline, you know, it like didn't feel real. My grandfather brought me a bag of my clothes in like a duffel, and he's like, I don't know what you want. I just like picked all this stuff, and we were driving back up, you know, to the suburbs of Chicago where they live in to go to their house to go to like a party that my grandmother was throwing for me the day I get released. And I went into the bathroom at this Cracker Barrel and I tried on like every single thing in that duffel bag and nothing fit. And I was like looking, you know, in like a bathroom mirror at myself. And now this is the first time I'm seeing like a fucking mirror in a year. And I'm actually having to like look at myself. And I was like, whoa. Whoa. I was like, yo, girl, you let yourself go. It was scary. I was gross. I was like physically repulsed by my own appearance and like seeing myself for the first time. And I've been fortunate enough throughout the course of my life to not like hate the way that I looked. You know what I mean? It was just not even something that I really like thought about, to be honest with you. It was like I didn't think I'm like, oh, I'm so pretty. You know, that was never like a thought that like went through my head. But I also was not the type of girl that was like, oh, I wish my nose was different. I wish my face was different. I wish my butt was different. Like I never like felt that way, really. I just was like, I wished always that other people cared less about what they look like and what I look like. Like I've always sort of felt more like that because my mom only cared about that, you know? But now I'm like having this true moment, true vanity, true disgust, true like stark reality check of this mirror in this bathroom. None of these clothes fit. I am a fucking hot mess, minus the hot. And I just got out of prison 30 minutes ago. And now I'm going to drive for 3.5 hours, but like, whoa, I don't have to like pee on myself and I'm not chained up. So like crazy, like that experience was crazy. Just being in a car was crazy. I felt like I was in the future. I mean, really, I was just like, you forget everything about life, you know, before, like if it's all gone, it's like you're surprised at how fast it all goes. Like that, it's like that stuff never existed. Like when the apocalypse comes, like we're not going to fucking remember podcasts. Like we're not going to remember any of that shit because I got into a car and I was just like in a car for the first time. So I'm free, but like I'm not free yet, really. Like I'm not free. I have to go do this thing. I have to go check in with this guy. I have to go make this appointment. And if I don't do that, I immediately get an warrant. If I don't do that, I immediately have a warrant out for my arrest and I have to go back to prison. Not even like Cook County, like not county jail. I have to go all the way back to prison immediately. So I'm like free, but I'm stressed and I like need to get this done. And when I get to my grandparents' house, the first thing I do is make that phone call. And by making that phone call, I find out that I am not going to have my ankle bracelet put on for 72 hours. So now I find out that actually it's not even until I'm really at my grandparents' house that I'm like, because I'm thinking like I'm going to their house, I'm going to be on house arrest immediately. And then I get to their house and I'm like, wait, I have 72 hours between now and 3 months of house arrest. So, bon voyage.